Hello everyone, I'm Rafael Alvarez and this is Alvarez Metalworks. So today what we're working on is the flatbed portion of Project Tow Rig. My daughter and I are laying out the frame of this. I decided to lay everything, in part one I had talked about I wasn't sure if I was going to have all the frame of that laying on top of the backbone frame rails for this entire project, or if I was going to splice in a center section and then have the ends sticking off of it, where everything's flush with that main frame rail that you see there. I decided to put it on top, and the reason I did that is for tire clearance. Measuring from the top of the axle tube to the bump stop is 5 inches, and if I just had these things sitting flush with the top of the frame rails, we would be sitting at, what is that? It ended up being like 4 inches. Yeah, it was 4 inches. So if I put it on top, that gives me an extra 2 inches, which is 6. That gives room for the bump stop to compress a little bit. But most importantly, it's for axle articulation. When you go driving into like a gas station or something like that, and your axle articulates, you may not hit the bump stop, but that outside tire on the dually sticks out quite a bit of ways from that bump stop, and it may raise up quite a bit. And I don't want to have issues with those tires rubbing on the flatbed at all, so especially when underweight. So I went ahead and gave it 6 inches of up travel clearance, and I think that's going to be plenty, and I think we'll be okay there. Anyway, what we're doing right now is we're measuring square. This is extremely, extremely important. And we'll talk about this later in the video, but I do want to touch on one aspect of the squareness. Because my sleeper cab and this flatbed are essentially, they're connected, but they're separate sections that are framed out. Okay, they're connecting in the center. If I don't have them perfectly lined up and perfectly square, what's going to happen is when you look down the length of this thing, when it's got the sheet metal on it, it's going to look like it's concave or convex depending on which direction it's off. Okay, and I don't want that to happen. I want this thing to be like dead nuts on perfect, and I want it to look like, I bought this thing, not that I built it and kind of hacked it together. Hence the reason why you don't see any diamond plate or any of that other garbage on my build. So anyway, the cross members that you're seeing in here, they're spaced out at 24 inches on center. I may come in later with some real light gauge or real light weight material, which is 3/4 inch square tube, 16 gauge wall, and run some braces that run forward and back on the truck. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. If I do it, it'll be minimal. I'm going to place down the 1/8 inch cold rolled plate onto this frame and kind of gauge, how much it's flexing, if not, and decide from there if I think what I have here in this video is strong enough or has enough support to be able to hold that weight or not. So anyways, sit tight. I'll be right back with the second half of this video, and you'll continue to hear me yapping, and I'll touch on a few details that I didn't touch on here. Okay everyone, so I got the bed on here. I didn't quite get as far as I wanted to in this video, unfortunately. I know originally I talked about just getting a few cross members in, but once I got the bed pieces on there and kind of just tacked to kind of get a feel for the weight, it's not that heavy. So I decided I was going to frame out the entire floor of this thing, okay? And that's still going to be my plan. Hopefully I can get it done this weekend. The weather tomorrow is supposed to be really cold. It's supposed to be in the 20s. We went from like 70-something degrees on Thursday, and we're going to be down in the 20s by Sunday, which sucks, but it is what it is, and we'll get through it. If the temperature's warm enough in the shop tomorrow, I'll be in here getting some work done. If it's too cold, well, it'll wait. Anyway, I decided I was going to frame out the entire floor. I also decided I was going to go with 10 mounts, and I decided I was going to use the mounts that I had because of cost and because of, I came in here with it. This is the polyurethane mounts that I bought new. I'll have to buy all new bolts because they're too long. But I was looking at it, and they are smaller than the factory ones. Not a lot smaller, but they are smaller. But if you look in here, you see how it's got the lip right there with the metal embedded into it? That is the perfect size for those factory holes in the frame. And when I saw that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just use them. Okay? I already have 8. I just need to buy 2 more. And it'll save me money because these factory mounts are like, if I do some good shopping and I don't mind waiting a little bit for them, I can get them for like $37 a piece shipped. eBay sells a set of 4 for like like $100 and something odd dollars. So all in all, if I buy a few here and I buy a few there, I should be able to get 10 of those, but it's going to be like about $350 shipped, tax, everything. And that's a lot of extra money to spend just because I'm 2 mounts short on the other ones. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to run with those. I've got an idea what I'm going to do as far as the mounts are concerned, as far as the brackets I need to make. I'll show you those when I build them. But I got all that planned out in my head, so we're good to go there. You see here I got one cross member in the front. It's just pushed into place, no tacks, nothing. So it's flush, or will be flush, with the top of this. And then coming off of here, I'll have another piece of that coming out 23 inches long. And, the stick out is actually 24 inches long, but this will be 23 because I'll have a side rail that butts up against it, just like this setup here. So coming out, and then I have that side rail down there. Okay, same thing's going to be happening here, with the exception of I have this drop down leg, and that side rail will butt into the side of here right here. Okay, now you may be looking at this and thinking, okay, so how is this all going to work? I'll explain that when I do it because I need to cut this video short. My battery's running out on my phone. The big problem that I'm having and why I didn't finish all this stuff up in this video is that is not square. You probably saw me in the time lapse trying to square it all up. I had it square. I had it square. I made a stupid little tiny mistake that I thought would be extremely insignificant, and it was actually very, very significant. And threw this whole thing off. It's not square anymore. And the problem is I came in here without double, triple checking the square after it was all tacked, and I laid down welds on all of the cross members and welded it to the frames, both sides. So I have to come in here with a cutoff wheel and cut all those welds, not on this back piece, luckily, but on this one. There's 4 welds on that one, 4 welds on this one, 2 welds on this, and a few tacks on the back side over there that I have to cut off, re-square it up. This back bar is perfect, but get the rest of this squared up. Then I'm just going to come back in and tack it because I knew better than to weld all that stuff up, but I did it anyways. I'll just come back in and tack it, and then I'll come in here and build this front section of the floor. And once I'm guaranteed that we're squared up, and I've double, triple checked my thought process, then I'll come in here and I'll finish welding all that stuff back. I'll weld up these corners, these joints, because it's got to be strong enough for me to move it off of here. And then from there, I'll start working on the mounts. The mounts may be in a separate video all to their own. So, I'll see you guys next time when I wrap up the front of this. But for now, hope you guys are enjoying this. This is going to be a really cool project when it's all said and done. My goal is to make this thing look like I bought it, okay? I'm not looking to hack this thing together at all. I want it to be top-notch quality. So, I hope you guys enjoy the video and the effort put into it. So thanks for watching. Like always, subscribe, comment, like. Make sure you check out RourkeSupply.com. Use coupon code METAL. That'll get you 10% off anything you order from them. That's my thank you to you for watching and supporting my channel. And it's Rourke Supply's thank you to you for supporting my channel as well. that's it for now. Oh, go like me on Facebook too. But that's it for now. Talk to you later.